What compelled the WNBA players to publicly support Senator-elect Warnock over Loeffler?
First of all, thanks for having me. Glad to be a part of the radio family with Max, Big Sis Molly, Stephen A. I love Stephen A's world, and I think this story is super important, especially this week, given the scenario that we're facing. But, you know, when it came to what the WNBA players were doing, it always takes me back to what my mom has told me. Tiny drops of water make a mighty ocean. Well, the WNBA players have been doing the work consistently, day by day, especially the last few seasons. And now people are seeing the vast nature of that work coming together. The players, where one of the major ripple effects of their activism can be shown through a senator now, as you mentioned, and also shown through some T-shirts with Reverend Raphael Warnock, who was polling at 9% at the beginning of August when the WNBA players began supporting him with T-shirts and mentioning him in interviews. And then thereafter, his competition was at that time at 26%. And within the next 72 hours after wearing the shirts, Reverend Warnock received over $200,000 in online donations, boosting his national profile and his resources tremendously. And now he's going to make history as Georgia's first Black senator. So when the situation really started with the Atlanta Dream, the WNBA players did what they've always done. They stood together, fought for one another, and the rest was literally history.
Well, first of all, you know how proud I am of you as a young sister doing the great things that you're doing. Continue to make me proud, girl. Way to go. Let me ask you this question. The team itself, how are you all, the NBA, the WNBA community, how are you all feeling right now about Loeffler continuing to be a co-owner of the Atlanta Dream? What are the thoughts about that? What are the plans as it pertains to addressing that issue?
Yeah, as a member of the executive committee, vice president there, newly reelected, which is really exciting. It's a really difficult situation, but at the same time, we understand exactly what our values are in the WNBA. And that's one of the beautiful things. We are 144 women strong. And even if we don't agree with one another, we understand our value is in standing together and staying through solidarity. And so I think that will overwhelm whatever the situation was last year. And the years previously with the Atlanta Dream, and I think we will find a nice solution.
Chiney, it occurs to me that, Loeffler never got voted in the first place. She was appointed, a position of great privilege. And, once upon a time, owners in sports dictated to players. That a bunch of women who play basketball just helped get a Black man elected to the Senate in the most important election, maybe for the Senate in my lifetime, certainly one of them, in the Deep South. Do you women ever just talk about the effect that you've had? Like, do you ever marvel at it? It's a stupid question, I know, but that scene is amazing.
I'm going to be honest, Max. The crazy part is the WNBA, and I always tell people, they are not new to this. They are true to this. That's who we are. And this is like the main part of our game is just that we understand where we fit in the overall ecosystem of society. So we have to pound the pavement. We have to find the grassroots. We have to go out there and shake hands, but now we can't do that anymore with our fans. And guess what? That puts us right at the center of our communities. And so this is not something new. This is just something that we have continually done. And like, my mom says, tiny drops of water make a mighty ocean. And now people are starting to see the wave that Black women, all the good that they have been doing and now recognizing it in real time.
When you speak to the WNBA players, and I'm asking this question to not just them, you on behalf of them, but also to yourself, why was it so important for you guys to document all of this? Highlight that for me.
Oh, it's so important. The cool thing about this project, this documentary, is it's truly like an all-access look into an entire professional sports league in the middle of a season like no other. It's as real as it gets, and these women deserve this moment. They deserve the recognition. They've worked hard for this, and I'm blessed that they trust me with bringing the story to life. And I think that what the WNBA players have really done is they've started to own their authenticity and own, being known not just as athletes, but more than athletes, as leaders in the communities, because we are women. We understand where we fall in the family ecosystem. We have to care. We literally birth the next generation. And so now people are seeing how it's okay to be at the intersection of sports and society, uplift and empower. And it's really cool because, the documentary later on will show all of the real-time strength and also vulnerability that these women exhibit, but also, #1 overall, pushing for the collective good.
I cannot wait to see it, and thank you for bringing it to light. Chiney, I want to ask you one quick question on a big story that broke today. The Mets fired their GM, Jared Porter, after he sent lewd texts, multiple texts, to a female reporter. What was your reaction to this whole situation?
Look, Molly, I came on to talk about the work that amazing women have done for years and is just now being recognized. And yet this is still the reality that we all face collectively. This is just another reminder of how much work we have to do within the business of sports and women overall in the workplace overall. And women should not have to constantly conform to the poor behavior of men that choose to abuse their power and devalue our experience. So hopefully the consequence of his actions, as we've all seen, strike down today, will serve as a warning for those who think that that ish is still okay.